Hello, this is Amber Vargas, founder and owner of Girl Pursuit. This is episode 6, and I would like to talk about body image. Embracing my body as a girl, as a woman, as a mother. What does it mean to have grit and guts and when it comes to your body? Like today, I'm going to get real about the mirror, the messages, and how embracing that fire inside me means that I am accepting that vessel that carried it. Now, from childhood, I was a pretty skinny, frail girl. I'm in my mid-30s now. I am a large woman. I don't fit the box. You can say I am overweight. BMI is most likely off, but I feel healthy for the most part. Trying to work on myself, just making better choices every day. At least the intention is to. And what it really is, seeing myself in the mirror and accepting for who I am, how I am. Because my body was something that was the vessel for my children. I made them in this body with my tiger stripes and all, and loose skin, flabbing skin, sagginess. I know there's moms out there that feel like me. You're not alone. I want to emphasize that this is such a roller coaster of emotions because the norm or society or media tells us to be a certain way. And I've always just had a really hard time understanding or just fitting in the norm of this is how a woman should be. First thing you ever see in any kind of media is someone trying to sell you a product or service to correct your body in some way, shape, or form. Think about it. Let it be from fillers to weight loss to thinning hair to wrinkles and diet culture, all the things, because what the media tells you, the internet, the TV, the radio, tells you that you need to be a certain way, and that's the only way you should be to be acceptable. And I find that really intriguing and also hard, and also F that, especially in these late 30s stage of my life. Now I say this because I've always been one that never really fit into the box or the norm or the friends clique of looking a certain way, blending in. I was always taller, broader shoulder, always had a little pouch. Be a little vulnerable here for a moment. And yeah, each and every person that's been important in my life, including my spouse, has always had a comment or something to say to me about my image. Like, what if you just did this? It would be a little bit better. And it's like, wait, is this the comment that you're making to me, or a suggestion, or this recommendation? Is it to better me, for me? Is it for my betterment? Or is it because I'm just eating to your anxiety because you're anxious about something? Something about me makes you feel a certain type of way. And I've always found that really intriguing. Stemming in from my mother, she is a 4'10" little lady, petite for sure, very small frame. I am not. I am almost 5'8". We can, I guess, argue that 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", and taller, obviously. A bigger bodied woman. I get it from my dad's side. My grandmother Aisha. Definitely get it from her. And I love her. And by her, I mean my body. It's been a long time coming that it is so hard to look in the mirror and say, this is enough. I am enough. I am enough for me. I am enough for my daughter. Maybe more so, it has been awakened for me to appreciate and to be grateful for the body that I have, is because I am that model. I am that mirror that my daughter is looking at. She will see her. She sees her in her future, in me. So by the way that I carry myself and the way I talk to myself and talk about my body in front of her, around her, I need to choose wisely, because I don't want her to grow up and feel that she needs to change the way she is biologically to fit into a certain box or to check mark off some list. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. It's been interesting for me. Now I'm bouncing back to childhood, so excuse me for that. But I never really exercised when I was growing up. I was always this thin girl. Thought it was fine. I was going to be like that. And I remember when I first got together with my husband, talking about, exercise and trying to do better and just going on runs and joining the gym and trying to be a little more fit and stronger. And I recall saying, like, I wish I was into sports or was able to keep up with my athletic abilities as I was growing up, because I feel like it should have been instilled in me to be active, to exert energy, to get stronger, to burn calories, all in a healthy way. And that was never really the norm. I believe a lot of it is environmental, cultural. Growing up in a Pakistani household, girls didn't do sports. Girls didn't do any of that stuff. At least I know in my immediate family unit, we didn't. I have a cousin. Shout out to my cousin. She's amazing. She was able to do all the things that I wish I did. I remember getting hand-me-down clothes from her, and she did ballet, and I remember her doing track and race, and my sister and I would be so jealous of her and be like, oh, I wish I could be like her. And we just, never really said anything or spoke up or were able to, because we always thought because we didn't have enough money to fund any of those activities that how dare we even try to bring anything like that up. I remember in high school, we were playing it, I'm pretty sure it was class PE, and someone, I don't know if it was the teacher or a classmate, that had said, like, oh, you should try for the volleyball team, you're really good. And I recall looking at that person just being like, I wish I could, but I can't. Diving into, unfortunately, my family's history of not being able to have that. Again, my parents did the best they could with what they had, but we just didn't dare to ask for those extracurricular activities because of what we had. But that is that, and this is now. And yes, my children are going to be getting the better share of what I didn't get to have, my siblings and I. So body shaming, that's not something that I allow in my house. I have visitors that come over. There are people that would like to speak about their bodies freely and make comments like, oh, I'm not that skinny yet, or no, I don't want to get too fat. And I make sure I let them know, like, that kind of language is not okay in my house because I don't want, forget my daughter, even my son, to think that, oh, we need to relate to food and whatever makes us feel good inside and makes our bellies full, because I always tell my children, make your belly happy. So eat up and to make your belly happy. Not necessarily finish your plate, but just make sure you do that to make your belly happy. And to hear comments like that can be negative and internalized and can be detrimental throughout adolescence, childhood, teenage years, and adulthood. I know it could be. I know as I was growing up, there wasn't really much talk of that. My mother was always such a small framed, petite little woman, and my sister and I were pretty thin. So none of that talk was really there. Talk about others was there, unfortunately, and commenting on their weights. And my sister and I thought we didn't have anything to quote unquote worry about. And it's so interesting how motherhood, or just life itself, changes you. And yes, gravity does pull you down. That's what it's meant to be doing. It pulls you down, it pulls you, slows you down. It's the way life works. I'm talking about gravity because it's the way our skin is just moving, and just starting to see some wrinkles, some fine lines around the mouth area on myself when I look in the mirror, when I smile. And after I stop smiling, I see a crease, and it's like, oh, hello. That's interesting. And that's just, I would like to flow with it. Embrace that fire in me. Embrace that age in me. And I hope you do too. Because Girl Pursuit isn't just about, hey, this is a nice tote bag and this is a product I'm selling and, hopefully it resonates with you. But the resonation has to happen on a deeper level. And that deeper level is, what does it say to you? Does it speak to you? Does it represent something in you that you want to empower and embrace, like I just said? And I stand by that. I stand by making sure that I am trying to age gracefully, but also naturally, right? Like, I have not done any kind of procedure on my body. I have thought about it. And then I thought, would it actually make me feel good after I did it? If I were to get, let's say, liposuction, and if I wanted to get that tummy tuck because that extra skin is still there and it's not budging, and I'm trying. I tried to be active. I have a rower. Daily intention is the intention, but sometimes life gets in the way, and yeah, it can be hard. It is hard. Living life is just hard, but it also can be beautiful as well. And also being able to live and understand that this is okay. There's not something that I have to drastically change so I can be liked. This almost falls into the category of people pleasing. And I don't know about y'all. I would love to eventually get to interview some people and get their intake on, or their perception on what they feel is right, like what feels right inside. Not necessarily about what you think or how one should be or this is what science says, which is all great. But what do you actually feel inside? Like, is it worth it? Is it meaningful? Is it not? And modeling that confidence for my daughter is something that I have literally been tasking myself to do on the daily. I always tell my daughter when she wakes up and she has that messy hair and she's just wearing her pajamas, and I tell her how beautiful she is just the way she is. And then when she dresses up, I say beautiful. Yeah, it comes out, it slips out. I try to say, hey, you look so fancy, and like how nice you look and how super you look. I'm trying not to identify her with dressing up and looking neat and clean, and that's what makes her beautiful. That's pretty tricky too in itself, because trying to learn all these parenting terms of trying to be a parent that is also conscious of a child's well-being and their mental health. It's really hard to navigate this verbiage that you need to make sure that you articulate in your language on the day-to-day. So I'm trying and learning every day, just like you are. And I know that every girl deserves to feel powerful in her own skin. And I believe that it's important to embrace your physical self as a part of embracing your fire that's inside of you. So that's a little bit about, or a lot of bit about, my view on having a positive self-image and how I refuse to let my daughter hear me trash talk about my body that carried her and my son. I want to break those generational cycles. I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it. Some days I slack and lack at it. That's for damn sure, but that's also because I'm only human. And so are you. So give yourself some grace. Have that glass of wine if you'd like, or that slice of carrot cake. And just be a good human being. I want to instill in myself, as I speak about it, to post in the public forum, and also to my children, that the way our bodies look shouldn't be a direct reflection of how we are as people. Yes, we all stereotype. Yes, we all judge. I totally get that. But it shouldn't be a defining factor of, hey, I'm a nice person or I'm a good person. And I know my daughter's a beautiful little being. And I know I am a beautiful being, just the way I am. I don't need to appease anyone's perspective of how I should look. I hope I have given some clarity, some hope, some guidance into how you may, or someone you know may want to feel about themselves, about body image. Yes, that is what I will like to end this podcast episode on. And this is that body that built my fire. I am making peace with my reflection.